Hello everyone, it's Phil from the AntiBSGroup here. Yeah. Okay. This video is on the Joint Strike Fighter, the F-35 Lightning II. And this week in the news so far, I've read a couple articles last couple weeks on this, on the F-35, and how it's not the right choice for Canadian Air Force. A lot of people saying, oh, it's the wrong aircraft, it's not the range, it's not the speed, all this bullshit. It's single engine. Okay, well, look at historically, fighters have all been single engine aircraft. Mind you, the F4, the F-14, the F-15, the F-18, they're both twin engine aircraft. But generally speaking, fighters have always been single engines. They're not twin engine aircraft. The F-4, I'll bring up the F-4. It's U.S. Air Force Marine Navy fighter from 60s and 70s. Twin engine aircraft. You think, like, what do people think about a fighter? It's fast, single pilot with guns as predominant firepower. But the F-4 didn't have a gun initially. Okay. So people say, oh, that's a drawback because I'm a gun. It can't defend itself in a knife fight, close quarter dogfight. Yeah, can't. So what's wrong with the F-35? What people are saying? Okay, A, it's too slow. B, single engine. C, it doesn't have the range. My own research on the F-35, I check all the sources, but the most realistic sources in comparison with the F-18s is that the range are about very similar to each other. They're 1,200 kilometers, 1,200 miles. I researched this a while ago. I just know the numbers, remember the basic numbers. They're about 83 miles. Hornet has 80 additional miles for combat radius. The Hornet, twin engine aircraft. The F-16, what I call the bomb truck, U.S. Air Force's bomb truck, which is basically what it is single engine. I think that it produces something like 60,000 pounds of, something like 35 to 60,000 pounds of thrust, something like that. I'm not sure how much thrust it produces, but it's a fly-by-wire jet. It's a full fly-by-wire. The F-18, that was basically the CF-18 for Canada, is basically its flight control system is a hybrid of fly-by-wire and hydraulic. Okay, it's almost a partial fly-by-wire aircraft, much like the Boeing 777. But a lot of people don't get the fact that the F-35 is good. I think, honestly, in my opinion, the F-35 is a good aircraft. It might not meet all the criteria for what people think that we need. A lot of people think that armchair generals, no, we don't need F-18 Super Hornets. We need the Griffins, the Saab Griffin, or we need the BAC Griffin, or whatever. We need something that's twin engine that's not this monstrosity. Well, if you look at the other aircraft, the first assault aircraft, great aircraft. A lot of them are great aircraft. Or some are saying we should go for this Indian jet they're working on, or we should go with this Russian jet, or we should go with this F-15 Silent Eagle. Well, guess what? Well, look at all this. Like, the only current jet that may be at a production that's completely a fresh design is the F-35. A lot of these other aircraft, they're redesigns of other older aircraft. Super Hornet, great aircraft. Do I think it's right for us? Depending. Will it work well with the F-35? Will it work well with our allies? It may work well with the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marine Corps using the Super Hornets, but will it work well with the British who don't have the Hornet? It will work with the Australians for the time being, but that's about it. Or the Spanish. Or Spain. But the thing is, Canada is different from, we have a bigger area to cover. So people are saying, oh, we don't have the F-35 doesn't have the range. That's what the drop tanks are for. That's why you have drop tanks. That's why you have this. You extend your range to close to 1,800 kilometers or miles. Fighters are generally short-range aircraft, generally speaking. They're not long-range aircraft. So the F-35 is basically the same range as what a P-51 Mustang had during World War II. Single engine. How many engine failures have there been with P-51 Mustangs? Not many. There's a reliable engine. During development, like the initial period with the U.S. Marine Corps and the U.S. Navy with the Corsair in World War II, about that F-4U Corsair prop job. You ever seen the show Baba Black Sheep? That aircraft, beautiful airplane, very reliable fighter. It became a very reliable fighter aircraft, but it had engine-related issues. But case in point, that engine in that fighter in the Corsair is the same one that was on basically the same engine. Basically, the engine's bigger on the Corsair, of course, but it's basically the same engine that was on the DC-3s, the Dakotas, C-47s, that flew the pilots airborne into Normandy during D-Day. It's also the same engine that's on the CL-215 water bomber. So, yeah, it's a neat little engine, I'll tell you that much. I've seen these things up close. They're beautiful engines. I love those engines, those old radials. Not too often you see a young guy like me say, oh yeah, that's a beautiful engine, oh, the sound of that engine. Well, there are people like me out there that I actually prefer these older aircraft, these older designs. They're neat, they're slick, they have ingenuity in them that we don't see too much today. We see a lot of whiz-bang technology, boomatron technology, basic electrical stuff, computers, stuff like that. In aircraft, it's more of the airplane fighting, not the pilots just telling the airplane what to do. Their pilots, the brain of the aircraft, pretty much telling them what to do something and when. And that's one of the issues I have with modern fighters, is they rely too much on technology, not enough on the pilot's skill and ability. That literally, they could put me in a fighter, I could probably win the day with the technology we have today. With a little bit of training, a monkey can fly these things pretty much. But that doesn't say a lot. But I mean, the old adage is, it's the man, not the machine. I mean, you put a very skilled, capable fighter pilot in one of these things, guess what happens? Bye-bye enemy MiG. Bye-bye enemy J7. J7, okay, I'll let you know that the J7 is a Chinese copy of the MiG-21, I believe. Don't me to the MiG, what version of MiG it was. I believe it was MiG-21 or the MiG-23. Good aircraft. MiG is a great aircraft. The Chinese version is crap. That anything you get from China is crap. People who say we should buy Chinese or Canadian-made aircraft, I mean, you guys need your heads examined majorly, because they're garbage aircraft. Being somewhere in the aviation industry, I had to deal with a lot of Indian products and Chinese-made products. I had a higher probability of finding a bogus part coming from China or India. I don't mean in China, but at a higher probability of finding a bogus part. Basically, unapproved parts. Basically, mean they're not certified. Aircraft, you have to use certified component. That brake component, like any component has to have a certificate, a piece of paper saying, okay, it was done this date, this date, this date. Boom, this is the part. This is where aircraft goes. This is its serial number. All this crap. Well, all these bogus parts don't have that paperwork. So whenever I see a part without that paperwork, I'm kind of like, what's going on here? So I kind of have to, before I even do the work, I'm going to check it back into it, into that part's history. Going to my bosses and saying, okay, I need to track down the history of this part. I need the information before I install it. I'm trying to cover your ass here. And the boss I have, like, this Rick, I think his name, if I remember correctly, his name is Rick. Rick and Pete. These two guys that worked with it, they're coming with that. Rick and Pete Plagio, I think his name was. Both great guys. I love working with them. They taught me quite a bit. And they always said, well, Pete basically told me one day, it's like, yeah, well, you did so much work today. It's like, okay, he signed off an extra hour on the check, on my pay, by form. And that was right 12 hours, so I kind of went over that hour over. He gave that extra hour. Because I basically worked my butt out. I told him I'm already 12 hours. Like, well, I can't. But you do that out. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll talk to Jim about that. But the F-35. Is it what Canada needs? Some sites not. Some sites, like me, I think it's a good aircraft. It'll be upgraded. It has all the equipment that it has some equipment we need. Some does we don't have. Capabilities. But the main thing is, like, the main reason why the F-35 we should the F-35, in my opinion, is that it has fleet interoperability with other NATO allies, our other allies, like the U.S., England, Australia, etc. There's some reason why I think it's not the best aircraft, but also it's a moot point because the engine technology is viable. It's a single-engine aircraft. Twin engine now is pretty good, but two smaller, less powerful engines saves you fuel. Honestly, here's the thing. We're just thinking about it now, actually. Okay, you have one big engine. Okay, you can burn more fuel with that one engine because it's bigger, it creates more power. But you have two smaller engines, you're going to burn a little bit less fuel. Okay? That's what I think with what the fuel issue is. They're burning too much fuel. It's a bigger engine, burning more fuel. But what does that say about engine reliability? It says reliability now is up there. You're not going to have a mean time between failure rates, or mean time between cock-up rate up there, but it's going to be lower. Fuck-up's going to happen. Given. It's a given. It's a mechanical device designed and built by man. It's going to have a fuck-up. It's going to have fuck-ups. Things are going to break. That's the story of life. That's part of life. Things will break. It's a item. There's a teacher used to say, one of my professors in Canada used to say, it's designed by man, designed by man, built by man, therefore designed and built to fail. People don't get that. It's man-made. I don't have any man-made devices here that, oh well, I probably do somewhere that are designed to fail. My helicopter, model helicopter I have. Had it for less than a month. 2 cats. Do the math. It broke. It doesn't work anymore. I can't get it to fly anymore. I've resoldered every wire, checked the motors, checked everything, still can't get it to go. I think it's the motor's gone, so yeah. F-35. What are its positives? It has some stealth technology. It might be pretty much it's good weapon systems and interoperability. Downside, single engine, unproven technology. Might be sluggish on the controls. Who knows? I don't know much about the flight characters of the aircraft yet, so I can't really comment on that. So, but generally speaking, the F-35 is good. I think it'll be a good aircraft. It might become a great fighter. Historically, a great fighter. You never know. Like we never know how the F-22 is going to be in combat because it's never been in combat. As far as I know, it's never been in combat. So, everybody says, oh, the Chinese make better. Well, the Chinese pilots can't fly with shit anyway, so. Or same with the Indian pilots. People might take offense to that, but the sad truth is they can't fly with shit. The Indians were, how can I say nicely, they were the Team Crumpet soldiers of World War I. They brought the Team Crumpet to the frontline troops. So, on that note, have a good one. Thank you for watching. It's another edition of JSF Debate. Have a great day. Bye.